What is going on, Leos? This is your girl, Venus Archangel, here with another love reading for you guys. Thank you all so very much for tuning in to your reading here. This is going to be a monthly reading, and I'm going to be doing this a little differently. I'm going to be just doing what I call a free poll, basically asking the question, what do you guys need to know for the month of May? And that will going what? That didn't make sense. Blah. So yeah, if it doesn't resonate, guys, you know, it's totally fine. I can't resonate with everybody, but I will definitely try my best to get to anything and everything I can to give it, you know, to help you throughout this month. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and see what you guys got going on for the month of May. Let's see what we got here, Leos. What does Leos need to know for the month of May? What does Leos need to know for the month of May? What does Leos need to know for the month of May? What do Leos need to know for the month of May? 3 of Swords. Oh, man. Fighting with an old heartache. Alright? Either you guys are struggling with a certain pain that's happening currently, that's happened fresh, or this is an old issue, or these are old issues that are coming up, and you're having a hard time, you know, figuring out what to do with them, or you're having a hard time, you know, not either making amends, trying to resolve those issues, or finding forgiveness in your heart to overcome those struggles. For some of you guys, this could be that you guys are getting triggered with the kind of the outbursts in your current relationship. Okay, you guys are getting triggered. There's a lot of triggers coming up in your current relationship that you're having. Excuse me, I almost choked. And they may be leading you down a path of like self-destruction. So be careful with the 3 of Swords there. Okay, you guys got some cards coming up here. I don't know what they mean. You have the 2 of Swords. Okay, I didn't even ask the question I wanted to ask yet, which was, why are these why is this card coming up for you guys? Okay, why is all this conflict happening? Because the 2 of Swords. Okay, some of y'all being real stubborn for no reason. Some of you guys are either being super stubborn, or you guys are just clearly just not seeing what's going on ahead of you, right? What's going on in front of you. And it's not your fault for some of you that can't see that or don't know it's there. And for those of you that are just not interested in seeing what's happening in front of you, that are fighting what's going on, then you know this is not going to be very conducive to solving any issues, solving any problems, right? So 3 of Swords is problems, right? But it's recognizing those issues, recognizing those problems, and the 5 of Wands, the struggle of, it could be the problem, or the struggle of recognizing the issues, the problem of reconciling those issues, or figuring out a solution to those issues. And for some of you guys, it could be that you don't really know how to resolve these problems. It could be just that simple, right? You guys just don't know how to resolve these problems. Some of you guys may be really stubborn and trying not to see the situation at all, just thinking everything's fine, trying to ignore the situation, just kind of keep moving. But the situation is this: you know that there is no way you can get out of that kind of situation if you guys are ignoring it. Now, I kind of get the vibe for a lot of you guys out here that the 2 of Swords is actually you guys having a hard time figuring out what to do in the situation, what path you're going to take, what truth are you going to stand by, okay? Because I feel like you guys are stuck in between a hard place and a rock. A rock and a hard place. There you go. I think you guys are getting stuck I think you guys feel like you guys are stuck between a rock and a hard place, and you're not quite sure which one you want to, you truly believe in, or what truth is truly, represents you to the fullest. Because the 2 of Swords talks about 2 contradicting truths. You can't go and live your life with living 2 contradicting truths. I mean, you can, but it's extremely difficult to reason with anybody with that kind of concept. So it's better for yourself to have that kind of understanding of what you're going to go after. But typically with the 2 of Swords, what it does is that, there's 2 swords, of course, like I said, making a decision between 2 truths, 2 contradicting truths. But ultimately, you have to pick one sword to handle the 3 of Swords. So let's see, what is it that you're not seeing? Or what decision do you need to make? That's the biggest question here, I feel. What decision is being asked of you to make here? What difficult decision is asked of you to be made here? Because, I mean, I think it's very few of you guys that are not trying to see the situation, not seeing the problem, which causes a lot of the conflict that you guys are getting triggered from. But then, that's very few of you. I feel like a lot of you guys right now just don't know what to decide, what choices that you have to make. Now, it's like, it's hard because I think you guys are dealing with some pain here currently. You guys are dealing with pain, and the conflicts are happening all at once. And you can't figure out what to do because your emotions are so, you're dealing with a pain, something that hurts really badly, and you're also dealing with people that are not either agreeing with you or not on your side with something, or just argumentative or chaotic, right? Or they're just chaotic. And I feel like you just don't know what to do because you are trying to kind of figure out what you need to do for yourself, what makes you feel good. But I think there's other things around you, other people around you that are kind of, in a way, helping you make your decision, but the way it's kind of being thrown at you, it's hard to recognize that they're helping you make this decision, if that makes sense. Like, this person in your life, or the people in your life, are helping you, helping to show you and to shape your truth and to show you who you really are. But it's hard to see it that way because everything looks like it's attacking you and making the pain that you're feeling a lot worse. Okay? So what choice does Leos need to make? What choice do Leos need to make? What decision does Leo need to make? Or what decisions is Leo trying to make right now? What's worth the effort? Three of Pentacles. What's worth the effort? So what have you guys been putting a lot of time and effort into, and what are you trying to figure out is worthy of your time or not? Because I think the Seven of Coins coming up is really stressing the fact that there's been some time and effort put into something. There's been work done, and you guys have come a long way in some sort of situation. And now you're kind of, you're looking at the situation like, okay, what do I need to do now? Because there's not much you can do in a situation when you've already seen how it kind of pans out. So if you've been working really hard on something, but it's been causing you a lot of great pain, but you've been putting a lot of effort into it, do you drop it? Do you continue to work with it? What do you need to do? This is about reevaluation, the Seven of Coins. And it's hard to figure out what you need to really evaluate when there's always people in your face yelling at you. Or there's always people in your face telling you what you should and shouldn't do. Or there's always people in your face doing stuff that you really wish they didn't do, because it does trample a lot on your boundaries. There's a lot of things that this reading is suggesting here, and I feel a lot of anger from you guys, a lot of pain, a lot of sadness, but most of all frustration, because it seems like there's a lot of stuff that that you wish was clear cut, but unfortunately you're gonna have to kind of make the clear cut decision. As complicated as this whole mess of a story is, you have to be the one that makes the clear cut. And you don't really necessarily want to make that clear cut when you're already going through a serious pain, right? You want to think clearly. You want to make the right decision. You don't want to make a decision that's irrational or just rash in the moment because you're already in pain. You want to make the right decision considering that you've been through enough with the situation, right? You've gone through enough. You've grown enough. You've done enough. Or you've done stuff to get you to a point to look at everything that you've done a lot of things with this thing, with the situation. Okay? It's hard. If you want to make a decision about what you've been putting in, tell us more about what you've been putting in. What work has been, what is this reevaluation? What are we really evaluating? What are we really reevaluating? What is Leo reevaluating? Leo is re-evaluating the Ten of Coins and the Ace of Wands. You guys are trying to reevaluate your legacy, trying to figure out what you're going to leave, what you're going to do, what family stuff you're going to initiate, what kind of family dynamic you want. What passions have you started? What things did you want to create? Do you want to rekindle the love that's currently in your life? Do you want to go after the person that you fell in love with once upon a time that you may have, that may have gotten away? Ten of Coins is the legacy card. It's generations. It's savings. It's inheritance. And I kind of feel like for a lot of you guys, this is like you guys trying to figure out what you've set in place for the next generation, for your stability in your life regarding happiness and, you know, abundance, not just money wise, but family wise, with people that you love, who are really the people that have your back and who are people that don't. And I feel like this situation, like I said before, it doesn't look like this is going to help you make the decision, but this does. People that are conflicting with you, that are fighting with you, they're not necessarily, you know, that fighting action isn't necessarily, oh my gosh, my throat is dry. It's not necessarily saying that that is what is going to help you determine who is right in your life and who isn't. Sorry guys, I need some water. But it's what they fight about. It's how they fight. It's what they're fighting for. Because you got to pick a stand, and not necessarily in regards to two halves of a family or two halves of a situation at work. It's more of like, what is your truth? So that way you can know whose back you can truly have. What path do you want to go down? Who you really are. These people are going to help you figure that out, no matter who they are. And the fact of this being coming up like this, and the, you know, how you're looking at it isn't looking at it at all. You just want to just kind of be alone and just kind of deal with the emotions that are around you. But unfortunately, the situation is kicking up even more emotions the more it's not being looked at properly. The problem isn't necessarily the fighting. It's what the fight is for. And if this is what you stand for. What is your stance? This will help you figure out what you need to do. This will help you figure out what kind of path you need to take in regards to your well-being, your finances, your career. Right? And the Ace of Wands is showing that too, right? What projects you restart, what avenues you go down, right? Regarding love interests and creative, you know, creative ideas, maybe even creating a business. Because the Ace of Wands and the Ten of Cups, I mean, maybe you had a dream of creating a business here. But it starts by looking at what work you've put in to already establish this. And the things that, and the people that are opposing you, that are leading you down the direction that you already wanted to go in the first place. Because the thing is with the Two of Swords, I've always said this, is that even though this may be a difficult decision and you may not know what decision to go by, a lot of the times if you take off your blindfold, you know exactly what path you're going to go down. It's just the hard part is just looking at what you know what decision you're gonna make. You know that the decision, regardless of what it is, it's gonna be difficult. So you may as well take the blindfold off so you can figure out what it is that you need to do. And I know it's hard considering that what you're going through is a difficult pain here. Either somebody you broke up with, somebody that you've, you know, either this is having to do with a heartache, or this is having to do with certain pains, certain triggers from the past, even. These things have to be addressed, and I feel like this conflict is what's addressing it. But it's happening so much, it's happening so fast, it feels and it looks overwhelming, but you can handle all of it because nothing is given to you that you cannot handle ever. Everything is preparing you for what you're trying to set out later on. But that is what needs to come first. You deciding what your stance is, who you are, what your truth is, what you're going to be of yourself. What are you going to make of yourself? How are you going to be laid down into history for you and your family, for whoever? You know, what carbon footprint are you going to be leaving behind? So it's a difficult, it's a difficult standpoint, but you can definitely do it. And it's hard because it's, there's so many people that are in your face, right? There's so many things that conflict with your truths. There's so many things that conflict with even a certain boundary that you may have now, right? Maybe there was a certain way you were, and it never really made such a huge impact until now, right? It never made you look at the problem until now, until things kind of shit hit the fan, right? And now you have to make a decision that you maybe should have made a long time ago, but you have to do it now because this does affect the future. It does affect how you begin life going forward. It affects your legacy. Okay, just 2 minute cards here. Alright, there's a lot of cards coming out of here, so anyway, let's go ahead and take a look, see at what your outcome is, though, guys. Okay, see what your outcome is. Actually, you know what? I want to see, before we do that, like I always do, how does this affect your love life specifically? How does this situation affect your love life specifically? Okay, and a ton of cards flipped over, but we're going to the Ace of Swords, and the Ten of Wands. Ace of Swords, Ace of Swords, Ten of Wands. Okay. Now, how this is affecting your love life is that I think there's a reality check that's happening, and yeah, I think the situation is that either you're recognizing where the burden is being shifted to. Either somebody's carrying the burden too heavily in this relationship, or you are, and it's time to start making that very clear as to why and what needs to be done going forward, right? As does the Ace of Swords talks about new perspectives, new way of thinking, new way of communicating. There may be also a new way of communicating that needs to be done in order for there to be progress made in your current situation, right? So I kind of get this feeling, fam, that what you're going through right now with your love life is that it's a burden to handle. It's a lot to deal with on top of everything else, whatever else you're dealing with, work, family, whatever. This situation is also affecting your love life because I think it's bringing the reality to a situation and making it a hell of a lot more potent, a hell of a lot more obvious. Like, right? The Ace of Swords is a truth. And I kind of get this feeling that either somebody's communicated with you about something that's overloaded you or made you feel like you're carrying a lot of weight. That, or you have been heard or you've been informed that somebody's carrying the weight in the relationship. Or you could have even expressed that in yourself, right? Because you are feeling the pressure of everything else around you. There's something going on where there's a burden that is definitely recognized now. There's a situation that's definitely come to a head, and you're at the end of that cycle, but you also have to acknowledge what you've just been through, what this person's been through, what you both have been through in the last, I don't know how many years, because Pentacles energy is a very slow energy. So when I see Pentacles, I think in months to years. What have you been through in this relationship that has finally been recognized, that's been finally been noticed? Because this is something that's been brewing and cooking for quite a time. And even though it's not at its peak, I feel, it's because it's still gotten you to a place where it's a struggle, you know? So let's go ahead and take a look at the outcome for May for you guys. Okay, the outcome of May is the Two of Wands. Just like the Two of Swords, a decision is needed to be made. Now, the Three of Cups is a lovely card to get, especially considering all this chaos, because then there's cooperation, there's working together, there's, people that you could trust and people that you can, lean on, and there's a group of people that are within your inner circle coming together to support you, and you to support them. But the outcome shows the Two of Wands, and that means that you know what you're going for, you know what your truth is, you know what you stand by. Now it's about how do you walk that talk. Because you first have to develop the talk first. You got to know what you stand by. You have to know what makes, what's right for you. And I feel like some of you guys already know. It's just hard to kind of, be that representation, be that manifestation of that decision. Sometimes it's hard to do that, but I feel like that's what's called for, because the outcome shows the Two of Wands. It's about, what do you do with that? What do you do with that truth? What do you do with that understanding that you have from everybody around you that seems like they're fighting against you when there are actually, tools in which to help you formulate your own opinion and your own belief system? What do you believe? Who are you as a person? And how can you show that, and how can you share that with the world? Alright, so that's a really big thing. It's really big. Oh, wow. Okay, so you, just like Cancer, you guys got, you guys have a lot of cards here. You guys have 3 cards. Actually, I'm going to keep them all. Alright, so you guys have love that you are different, which this is why I'm saying there's a lot of conflict in regards to you specifically, because you have to accept what is different between you and the people around you, which brings up a lot of these triggers of not maybe feeling like you don't belong. Maybe a lot of you guys don't feel like you belong anywhere. A lot of you guys feel like you have to be extremely different because you already feel isolated and alone anyway. So you always do things that are flamboyant and different, that may not necessarily represent who you are, but they are just stand out so much that, that it just emphasizes your difference. I feel like love that you are different doesn't necessarily mean you continue to express how different you are, but you just truly 100% and personally and intimately embrace that difference. And even if people don't accept that difference, you accept that difference, because that's all that matters. Then you have nurture all you love. That goes back to making decisions on what your legacy will be, what family setups you have. Nurture all you love, loving and caring, and taking in the people that truly have your back, and noticing the people that truly support you and love you, because you're going to be in conflict with probably everybody in your life, but it's about what they fight for and who, and what, how they argue with you, that shows you what you need to know about that individual, and who is really within your inner circle, and who is really within that group or that network that shows that they have your back no matter what. And then you have let two become one. This end talks about that's the love situation like I was talking about. There's a lot of burdens in the relationship that one may not have noticed, and now the light has shined on that. It's about recognizing that there's a lot going on, and that there needs to be some sort of balancing situation for that, or that there needs to at least be some acknowledgement that there's some things that are not going on, that are not right in the relationship, and not making that problem that other person's problem if it's someone else's problem, but tackling it as one, tackling it as two, not being different in the sense of like that, letting your difference keep you from helping the people that are within your life, but not keeping that, letting that person struggle on their own to do that one thing, when you guys are supposed to be a pair, when you guys are supposed to handle situations as if you were one. You guys are always going to be different. You guys are going to definitely be your individual unique selves, but how you guys handle situations is a couple thing. No, his problem or her problem is your problem too. If it was your child, would you let your child just flap in the wind, or would you go out and stand by by your child and figure out a solution together if they really needed you? It's the same situation for your partner. Why would you treat your child any differently than your husband or your wife or your spouse or whatever, right? Or your person, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever. Why would you treat anyone differently than your child? Not trying to say that you should treat your child like your BF or CF, because there's always going to be a difference, but in the sense of tackling issues together, like the 10 of Wands is showing, tackling problems. That doesn't have to be an individual problem. It doesn't have to be. Now, it's understandable if there's legitimately nothing that you could do to step in, if you've already tried to help them in the past and they've just rejected it, and now you need them and they can't do it. But you have to emphasize, you have to recognize what this relationship is for you, what conflicts are coming up in this relationship to show you who you really are and show you what you really need, because that's what will bring you your sacred circle, the people that truly stand by you in every moment, the people that really show you who they really are. Because this moment of pain and chaos and conflict, that is going to show everyone's true colors, including yours. So it's about being aware and open to seeing those things instead of letting it die down, letting it pass. Because it's not gonna do anyone any favors to let that go. Okay, so I'm gonna pull you guys a Wisdom of the Oracle card. I don't think there's really anything to surrender to this time, so I feel more led to pull you guys a Wisdom of the Oracle. And you guys have Fork in the Road. Another decision, man. Decisions all over the place. 2 of Wands, 2 of Swords, the 7 of Coins, and then now the Fork in the Road. Like 7 of Coins S is the card of evaluation, and it is a card, this is a really big reevaluation period, because something major has shifted in your life. But whatever you decide, don't think it's okay to change your mind too. But the thing is to remember is like the whole point of everything is just make the choice, make a decision, Don't let anyone peer pressure you into making a decision that isn't naturally yours. But don't hesitate your truth because you're afraid of it being rejected, or you're afraid to lose people that probably weren't really on your side in the first place. Know that people will be by your side, will be with you if you remain authentic. You want authentic people in your life, not fakers, not people that are phony, not people that just want to be around you because they like, they like having fun with you sometimes. Real people, real individuals, people that are real to the core, not people that just fake it to make it, because you are not one of those people that just fake it to make it, and you shouldn't try to be those people that fake it to make it, because how is that going to be honoring who you are if you don't try to be you? And that's why it's so important to not resist and not hesitate by speaking your truth. You don't have to be aggressive and evil with it, right? But you could definitely express who you really are. You don't have to be aggressive with it, but you can express how you think and how you feel and what you believe, your life should go. You don't have to oppress people, but you could definitely walk your truth and show others how it worked for you, and maybe even inspire others to do the same thing. Take that stand, Leo, because this is your life. This is you that we're talking about. It's no one else. Alright, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you all so very much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos. And I will see you guys sometime this week, or sometime next month, or whatever. Take care, y'all. Bye, guys.